All right, and we're live. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Good thing I came in to do it. It started raining. I wasn't even expecting that. I was planning on doing this third session on my bike. Anyways, just because it works better for the YouTube, both for the ads and for my phone messing up later in the morning trying to get a connection. It just works better. Works way, way better. But we're going to get our 3 hours in, or try to at least. I see no reason why we can't, as long as we keep internet connection. Everything's good. I feel good. So we'll get our 3 hours fasted in on a non-training day. So I'll spend that time with you lovely people. Obviously, I put up the super chat goals. My Amazon wish list is up there. If you guys would please comment, though, like as soon as you get in here, comment down underneath the video if you catch it after the fact. If you do. And I'm hoping we get a nice lively stream. It's 9:15 in the morning here, Central Time. It's early enough. People on the West Coast are up. It's a Saturday. So hopefully we get a good little stream going. If not. We've had some good ones in here this week so far. Some of these have got good views. They've got good engagements. I've done pretty good getting consultations this week out of these. So yeah, but I do have coaching slots open, guys. I do consultations. I actually have 2 hours of them scheduled today. So that's trucking along really, really well. So in the meantime, let's get this cardio done. Let's get some chats going, some conversations going. While I'm waiting on you people, I'm going to tab over, look at a couple other things while we wait, and hopefully get everything up and flowing and get some people in here. Now hit that like button, though, as soon as you guys get in. We're getting views. Man, it's starting to rain really hard. I'm glad I got that other cardio done. I did that just in time. I did not see that coming. But the name of the game, it happens. Again, it's a good thing I have this set up to do this on the bike now, right? It's a good thing we have that set up so we don't have to worry about or be at the tyranny of the weather, because Houston area weather can be like that. Man, the views are dropping down. It was picking up, it dropped down. So hopefully people get back in here and we get some good views. We had them in the first two. They were decent enough. So I'm hoping we'll get some in here also. Last bit of coffee I'm going to drink today. I'm going to finish it during this. It's only 9:15, so it's still within my coffee window. Plus, some strong black coffee while doing fasted cardio. I don't think that's a bad thing, especially in a fat loss phase. Right? Caffeine's a mild fat burner. Again, we're completely fasted. We should be dropping some water now that the carbs are down and we're on just healthy fats. So we'll see what happens with that. Let's see if that waistline tightens up even faster, that loose skin, once the water kind of pulls out. We'll see what happens. I predict it'll actually do okay. I think we'll see some improvement. Although at first it might not, because my waist itself gets smaller when I do that, right? Even when I'm sleeping and stuff at night, because I don't have a full gut from all the carbs and all the water it draws in, right? Fats don't do that. Although there's still plenty of fiber, a lot of vegetables. You guys see the food. I put up the pictures of the food and my shopping and everything on Facebook, on Instagram, all that. Let me make sure this volume is good. That was a problem yesterday. Make sure it didn't turn down. It turned down a hair, not much. I think we're good there. Okay. All right, people, let's get some conversation going. Come on. You guys got the unfiltered coach earlier. I was going kind of ham at the end of that last one. People laugh. They're like, I like coach like that. But as soon as all the regulars see this, they'll come in, they'll drop the likes, and that'll really push the engagements up. But we're doing good. We're well past 2 hours already of the brisk walking. So we'll get this bike cardio in and, like I said, finish up this for the day, finish up the fat burn, right? And just then I'll get on with my work day. Decent amount of stuff to get done. I got multiple client sheets. 3. Still no relevant comments. We just don't tolerate anything. Next. Get those likes up, by the way, though, guys. Get those likes up. Let's get this flowing. Why does it need to see the goal? Right? Okay. Just weird stuff with these when I put up those goals. It always wants to leave a little box there. I don't need to see it myself, guys. Come on. Wait till the regulars catch this. That's interesting. This isn't hitting the feeds the same as the others. The regulars all caught the other ones out there. These are still a little, it doesn't know what to do with it. It's not used to me doing the desktop anymore for a bit. The algorithm doesn't know what to do with it. YouTube's like, what do we do? What do we do? He's gone from all this mobile to the desktop again. He doesn't know how to handle it. Some people said they were having errors with it the first day, and then others were like, no, it's perfectly fine. One of my clients was sending me screenshots saying, yeah, it was bugging out a little bit. He had to close the window and reload it. But the cut's going good. And we're going to continue it going good. My coffee good to the last drop. We'll finish all the coffee for the day in this stream before we eat. I may not eat, obviously, immediately at the end because it's still only going to be like 10 a.m., even if I cut this off at 3 hours for the day. It's only going to be 10 a.m. We may not need to eat immediately yet. It's a non-training day, not a big deal. Plus, I got plenty of food last night after that last full body workout of the week and the 2 hours of cardio. I don't think I was actually in a deficit yesterday for the first time, but we're still 213. So I think we're going to hopefully see a drop start of the week. I think, man, lack of activity here. And I've already discussed what I'm doing with the diet and training in the other streams, unless people have specific questions. And a lot of the regulars are the ones who see these. I think because this is the third one, it's going to be, I don't know, it's not always going to be as lively. Maybe some of the people, the regulars, got in and got a little live streamed out already. Because they were pretty active. The first two were pretty active. There were a lot of commenters. Questions. So far, we're not getting anything yet on the bike one. There we go. The views are ticking up. Get the likes up, guys. Let's get some comments. Let's get questions. Let's get topics. Otherwise, I just ramble. I tend to do that on the Facebook already. I don't want to just ramble here too. So sooner or later, it'll pick up. At least I know it's set to public because people are in here watching. They're just going to watch without saying anything. There we go. Coming up though, finally. But we have less than 40 minutes left to hit 3 hours. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing with the cardio now, guys. There's not going to really be bonus cardio. It's going to be, I squeeze in what I can on training days. Hopefully it's 2 hours fasted and try to get 3 hours on the non-training days. All my cardio, all my training needs to be fasted. I don't need to be doing any workouts of any type during my feed window. That needs to be just getting my food in, get everything done in the morning while we're fasted. We're burning through potentially more body fat anyways. And then we are recovering during the feed window to be ready to train again the next day. Itano says, hey, Jason, I was a big fan when I was 16 to 17 doing your program and progressing. And then I quit. I'm 22 now doing the starting strength program. Wondering what are your thoughts on this program? You're going to have no arms. And you've trained before, so you've gone through some new gains. I wouldn't necessarily run starting strength. Wouldn't necessarily do that. I'd run one of my novice programs again. All right, you've already trained. Starting strength is for ranked novices who've never worked out. You're not going to get the progress you want on it. You're going to have really small biceps if you run starting strength. Just telling you straight up, brother. All right? It's not a bad program for who it's for, but who is it for? Starting strength was really written for grandmas and stuff. Right? It's written for the sedentary population who needs to build general strength. That's who it's written for. And they're very clear on that. Mark Ripto is very clear on that. So that's the target demographic. You're a 22-year-old young man who's coming back to training again. You previously built a base running one of my more aggressive programs than his. I don't recommend you run starting strength. You're not the target audience for that program. You're not the target demographic who's going to excel at their goals. Now, you can put your mom on starting strength and she'd do phenomenal, right? And I'm not saying, I'm actually literally mean that. I'm not saying that as your mom joke, even though I like to do this. Also tell you, hit that like button, man, come on. We haven't got a single like. That's really, really weird. That's extremely weird this far in to not have 5, 10 of them, 15 of them. Really strange. I guess none of the regulars that didn't hit anybody's feeds. That's probably why. None of my regular fans, but a bunch of them were in the first 2. So that makes sense. Maybe, I don't know. So sorry, Italio. It would not be my first choice. But I don't know what your goals are either, though, to be fair. Right? You didn't really state what a goal is. So when you're picking a program too, we do need goals, but I'm going to assume you want to gain muscle. I ran one of my programs before. That you want reasonably proportionate muscle. Starting strength is for building a general strength base in a sedentary population. And you will have small arms if you run it. Like straight up, you're going to have no biceps if that's what you run. Just an FYI. Like you're not going to look like you lift walking around in a shirt at the end of it. Again, it's just real talk. The current goal is to get strength base. You don't have any other goals, I tell you, though. Like you don't care if you have arms or anything. Like you don't care if someone looks at your arms and says, I thought you lifted weights. So just be aware of that. But that's okay then. I mean, it might work if your only goal is a strength base with no concern for how you look at all. But you might be okay. But that's not everyone hits that strength base off of it. I would, if you want to get those, I would definitely run one of my programs. So to be fair. All right. Again, your choice though. Or at least run strong lifts and throw some barbell curls in. You're going to regret not doing barbell curls later. Trust me, as a guy, you're going to regret it if you skip out on them. Man, this is the slowest stream I've had in a long time. Even doing it on the bike in here. That's weird. They did something weird with the algo on this one. That's kind of cray-cray. Never seen this. But it says it's got the live going. Live views, live comments. Strange. Okay. Well, it just is what it is. You just have to live with it and accept it. We're at least a third of the way through this. 2 comments, no likes. Yeah, I tell you, at least toss me a like by the way there too. It's kind of weird. I wonder why no one's seeing it. Oh well. What can you do? All right, I'll just keep going then. So we had the one question so far, and yeah. So what I'm doing here, obviously my last bit of cardio for the morning, it's a non-training day, so I want 3 hours of fasted cardio before we eat. Again, I may not eat immediately. I'll work on some other stuff. I have consultation calls later, client stuff. If he gets to 225 for 5 without becoming a fat ass, his arms will look big. With no bicep work, I don't know about that. Also, keep in mind it's starting strength. Their model is to keep the volumes really low and to just bulk you to those numbers through overeating. So the success rate on not getting fat and hitting those sort of novice numbers on starting strength is actually fairly low. I have extra tricep and arm work in all my programs to get people to those, even my novice ones. And my other point is, Vivis, and how come so many guys who ran starting strength to build their base don't look like they have arms? Been a reoccurring, that's one of the biggest criticisms of the program. And the coaches are saying, oh, we haven't seen that happen. But then you literally look and like your clients don't have arms. Your client's literally over here benching 225 for 5, and he doesn't have any arm. Just saying. No, I'm not going to recommend that at all. I mean, Viv, you can disagree. I think he needs to be doing some curls. And there's no curls in starting strength. He didn't say a modified version. He just said that's what he's running. All right. He said nothing about a modified. I should probably put out another novice program coming up. I probably need to eventually. People always ask me for a 3.0 because the 2.0 was a little milder, whereas in the 1.0 was super aggressive. I should probably come up with a 3.0 that's kind of in the middle ground. But I made the 2.0 as a response to the number of people who couldn't handle the workloads of the original. It was pretty aggressive. Vivis, if you say so, I'm good. I've seen cases of that not being the case personally. All right. Not without any bicep work. Again, you're free to disagree. I'm just telling you my observation and experience. All right. All right. Something's weird with this one. It's definitely bugging out because it's not getting people's feeds. There's no way, there's no likes, none of my regulars are in. So none of my regulars are seeing this. I don't think it's any subscribers. So I think we're getting purely non-subscriber on this one. So it did something weird. It didn't like me setting up the bike on the desk today. It didn't like the desktop. Super, super crazy, super weird. So I'll see it after the fact. I'm going to get a bunch of clients and other people like, you did that live and it didn't hit any. They'll be telling me. Dean will be telling me. Paul will be telling me. I have less. No, but what I mean, Vivis, it's normally it's way more. It's not about people having lives. It's literally what happens. So my first 2 streams this morning, a bunch of my regulars came in. I literally had like 10 likes in the first 5 minutes. Lots of commenters. So no, it's not that at all. So you may not, Vivis, are you actually a subscriber? So help me out with this so that I can tell what's going on. Are you subscribed to my channel or did they just pop up for you? Because none of my regulars, none of my subscribers who literally make all the lives are in here. Like I have people who literally make every single live for some reason, no matter what, even at their jobs, they come in. So just an FYI. So, I mean, it really does happen pretty much 7 days a week. So my question is, are you actually a subscriber or are you just a random who would hit your feed? Because it's really weird on the outreach on this one today. So it's totally weird. It's not normal at all. Just saying, as someone who does lives every day while doing cardio, it's totally abnormal. Heck, it's the first time I've ever seen this in like 150 lives in a row. We finally got a like. Okay. So once that happens, it'll start triggering stuff. All right. So then it'll be, Coach, I just now got it in my feed. It just hit 10 seconds ago. All right. Feed the Mortals. Yeah, that was me. So here's one of my regulars. What's up, Feed? So he's sitting there going, people have likes. It's not weird. Yeah, it's just totally weird. You're in here enough to know. Appreciate the like feed. So notice the views went up as soon as he hit that. So now it's going to hit other subscriber feeds. So that was kind of strange. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Here we go. But yeah, appreciate that. Like, feed me mortals, please. That name is funny. But we're past 2.5 hours of fasted cardio already for the day. Been a fair amount of streaming. I hope this one picks up so we can justify me staying on the hair longer. I get bored in these. That's one reason I like it when they get really active. It'll make me push past my minimum. You're looking later. Thank you. I mean, we're down. I've lost like 10 pounds of fat on this cut. We're going to keep going. I'm going to go ahead and shred them down. Starting is not bad to build your base. It's just outdated, Vivisus. And if you don't do curls with it, you're going to regret them. But trust me, and I do mean that. I've said that many, many times. It's not that it's bad. It's the lack of biceps. Guys are all going to regret it later if they skip the curls on it. And I might just trust me on this, guys. Plus, it's got such a crazy cult following. I don't like the cult following that's built around starting strength. I've seen it make too many perpetual early intermediates. Well, sure, they could add curls, but then they're not running starting strength. So, right? Because they'll tell you at all their circles, no, just run it as is. You don't need the curls. They'll tell them that. That's the problem. It's got its own little cult. And I've seen it ruin people. I know two people who continue to stay on the starting strength model for years and years and years and years. And they're all perpetual intermediate, early intermediates, like 5, 6, 7 years later. They get too caught up in the starting strength circle, and it really is a novice program. All right. And it's just built, and don't get me wrong, I think everyone should own the book. Like I've always said that. Like the book should be almost mandatory reading for anyone early in their lifting. It's a good, useful tool. But the programming itself does leave some to be desired. But you understand who it's written for, right? He makes it clear it's really written for novices who plan on staying general population. But there's other programs that are going to be for people who had other aspirations. I've made multiple of them. Tens of thousands of people have run them. They've been published for like 12, 13 years. Even the article written online that Muscle and Strength paid me for, like over 10 million people read the article. Like there's other stuff besides that still lets you do big barbell movements and build a base if you're more geared towards actually being a little more jacked. Like the need was there for that at the time when I put that out. That need is still there. People were still trying to run starting strength as the original model. What is considered intermediate? I'm going to say if you're struggling to hit depth with 315 on a squat, you're probably an intermediate. Your best ever deadlift is 405 for your whole lifetime. You're still kind of intermediate, especially if you've been training consistently more than 5 years. Your best ever bench is a 225. And I know people like that who bought into that model and they never moved beyond that. And they still try to run variations of it, or people I know who go, I tried to do the Texas method, and they're not where they should be for someone who's actually consistently training every week, year after year, right? There's kind of a point where if you do run starting strength, it's like a 6-month thing, and then you should walk away from it type thing. Back house, right? Like, I don't like the Texas method. And I know people who are still trying to run it. I'm like, you've been working out for 8 years. Why are you messing with this again? Well, because I like the heavy metal light and rip toe is like my hero, I'm like, you're still not where you should be. Now, these are conversations I've had with actual conversations I've had. So, yeah. Again, I look at starting strength as great for its target demographic. And I do kind of stand by that. Young men who want to be jacked later, it's probably not the target demographic. Just how I feel about it. What's a better intermediate? It's not, you mean, Chad, we're not talking about intermediate programs. We're talking about novice programs. How about an intermediate program where you actually do supplemental lifts? You don't need how about you write your own, you hire a coach, a good upper lower. So Chad, here's what's a good intermediate program. How about you actually train your hamstrings? How about you actually do some tricep extensions? How about you train your rear delts? How about you do both pull-ups and rows in the same week? See where I'm going with some of this? Yeah, I almost feel like the Texas method for the sort of rep ranges and what they're doing with intensity, I think the volumes are too low. It needs more supplemental work. It's basically just add volume. Well, no, I mean, a program can be what you happen to write. I mean, all right, how about 5-3-1 is probably a better intermediate program than the Texas method. Right? If you're just looking for something cookie cutter. Right? What numbers for 5 would make you advanced? Vivis, why are we calculating 5s anyways? Why are we, you're over here talking about, it's going to call it starting strength. Do we measure strength in 5s? How about we go 300 bench, 400 squat, 500 deadlift? For just men in general to be an advanced lifter. People say, what about body weight? If you're 150 pounds, you're probably not an advanced lifter. So let's pull out the outliers and just take the middle of the curve. Those are perfectly reasonable. We could throw them into a body weight chart, which is still going to have a height component. Her good mornings RDLs and a glute builder, or they're more hamstring. They do both. Both those movements build glutes and hamstrings, both fairly effectively. I don't think they're necessarily more glute versus hamstring. All those strength charts are coming from strength and conditioning coaches at universities, kind of threw all those charts together for the exercise science departments like 20, 30 years ago, based on observing their athletes. But I mean, realistically, I think a 300, 400, 500 is a good baseline to see, yeah, this guy's an advanced lifter. All right, I think that's reasonable. What's a good weight? I think an average height guy, 170, 180. Again, we're taking averages. Most of the population is close to average height in America. And that's not a strength specialization. Keep in mind, you guys have seen clients of mine who are well under 200 pounds squat 500 plus. I've had 180-pound clients squat 500 plus on camera, more than one, drug-free. So I don't think these are unreasonable. Right? Do strengths change for people on drugs? Obviously. But drugs make you more advanced, don't they, Chad? Chad, do drugs make your muscle growth more advanced? The guy doing those numbers under 180 is nuts. I mean, you guys saw I had Charles put up numbers weighing 175. One of my guys, He did a 505 squat, a 585 deadlift, a 325 bench. We did all that years ago on camera. Justin hit 185 to 190, hit a 520 squat. Benching just over 300, pulled 590. So, I mean, but again, you asked what's advanced. It's just, you said advanced. I gave you advanced. I hit all those numbers at under 200 before I did my first cycle. I did all those within 3 years. I hit every one of those lifts in less than 3 years in the gym, under 200 pounds, personally. What weight you recommend a 5 or 10 person get to? I think 180 for drug-free guy. I think a lean 180 is good. If you want to be really ripped, probably a little less. I think 180 is solid. I assume you'd look jacked with those numbers of decent genetics. If you're reasonably lean, yeah. I think so. Especially if you can do some good weighted pull-ups too. That's why I kind of gave you guys a strength standard for that to look jacked. Right? I'm like, you bench 315, squat 405, pull 500, and you can do at least 10 body weight pull-ups. You're probably going to look reasonably jacked walking down the street. Most people are going to know that you lift, right? Is that fair? But I would count those as advanced numbers. They're not competitive powerlifting numbers, but they're advanced. You're going to look like you lift. Everyone's going to know you lift when you walk into a room. If you walk in a semi-tight t-shirt and a pair of shorts, everyone's going to know you lift. What percentage of people? Small percentage. How many people? What percentage of people are actually jacked? Feed Me says, I've got a long way. Then I'm 160. I can do this over the next couple of years, I reckon. Take your time with it. You don't need to gain a bunch of fat. So 160 up to 180. Why do you need a couple of years? Spend 5 years. Spend 5 years working your way up to it. Just gain lean. Right? You don't need to gain a bunch of fat. Take your time. Make some just nice, steady, slow lean gains. Because I've already said 1% of men who work out are bench 315. How many guys go to the gym who don't look jacked, though? The majority. Yeah, at age 30 also sounds silly, but I'm running out of time to hit it. No, feed me. You're 30, dude. Bro, I'm 48. What'd you see me do this year on camera? I did a 500 back squat at 48 years old with no shoes, no sleeves, no socks on. Did a pretty easy 585 pull, just a belt and chalk, pair of shorts. I'm 48. You know, you're fine, dude. You got time. 30 is, you're not that old. Dude, 5 years, you'll make gains over the next 5 years. So take my client, Justin. Justin hired me when he was about 32. He had a 405 squat, and over several years, we got him to 500. We actually got him to 520. But it took a few years. But he was already like 32, 33 when he hired me. And he stayed under 200 pounds the whole time. And you guys saw his progress. I put up enough clips and did a few vlogs here or there. All right. So much. I appreciate it. I think I'm being a little bit, there's no need to be overdue. You're 30 years old. I'm sitting here 48 listening to a 30-year-old talk about running out of time. And I'm just like, hey, I'm trying not to laugh. Like, I'm old enough to be your dad. Barely, by the legal age, weight gain is underrated. I think weight gain is overrated. Fat leverages, they're not true muscle growth. Yeah, it helps you leverage more weight. What can you lift with abs? What can you lift without a gut? You know what I'm saying? Well, can you live while actually having a bicep vein? We get the last bit of this coffee down before it gets to like 10 o'clock. We're getting late to be having caffeine. All right, last drop. Get that coffee. I have nothing but black coffee in the morning. I don't know, I feel you need to sacrifice after a while. I don't think you really do. I mean, not really. There's no, the research kind of says otherwise. Yeah, feed me. This is the slowest stream I've had in a couple of weeks. Honestly, this is surprising. I mean, I had 2 decent streams though, feed. With the last 2 were pretty good walking. They weren't bad. I'll accept a slow one, even if it's my higher output one. The bike ones make more money. But I like the walking outside more. I enjoy it a lot more. Coach just started low bar squatting, and it's a lot easier to keep my back upright. Back starts to fold on any heavy high bar. Yeah, because you're in a better leverage position for the back. Any core weakness is going to come out big time on a high bar squat when it gets heavy. And if you lose it, you lose it. So for me, I mean, you've seen me high bar at heavier body weights, like over 500. And if anything goes wrong, you end up dumping it, right? Low bar, because you're starting in a lower bar position, it's further down, you have better back leverage. That's why guys use it for that purpose. It's just easier to maintain that back stability. So everyone's like, oh, the low bar is bad on your base. It's actually technically easier on your back in terms of leverages, to be fair, because it's a shorter moment arm. Cameron, what's a good weight for someone who's 6 foot? Maybe 190. Yeah, pretty good. About 190. Everyone's like, Coach, you're like 213 cutting. I am. I need to get down to 200 or less. I'm 5'9". I'm a little too fluffy. We need to have some deep abs. All right. Yeah, 190 is good for 6 foot, assuming you're not on anything or very, very, very modest gear use. It's a good solid number. Are you stronger now than when you cut last year? Yeah, I'm definitely stronger. So we've made progress. You know, I'm not the strongest I was when I was heavier. I've been stronger at a heavier body weight than all this, obviously. But for this sort of body weight, definitely doing well. But I'm not going to go about probably, honestly, I may never go over 200 pounds again the rest of my life. I'm 48. I don't need to be walking around even at 210, 220. There's no point. It's just not ideal for health and longevity. I need to keep my cardio up. I just need to stay lighter, leaner and meaner. All right. So realistically, I probably never need to be over 200 pounds again. Did you feel I made pretty good progress? Yeah, I think you can make progress on all split setups, assuming programming is good, you train hard, and your fatigue is properly managed. I don't care if it's a body part split, an upper, lower, or full body. You can make good progress on any of them if you have stuff dialed in. Look how big O'Hearn is, coach, and he's all about longevity. Yeah. Does he have the same health problems in his family that I do? My mom died a year younger than I am right now of cardiovascular disease. I'm 48. My mom died at 47. My dad had his first heart attack at 32. Those things I do have to take into consideration. Is that fair? Diet, whatever, 60. Then that's scary. Then we go, man, I kind of like to still be jacked at 65, 70, in good shape, you know. But I do agree O'Hearn's pretty dialed in, but we do have to factor in those genetic components, and I have to think about that. All right, have to. Again, got to be realistic. We're almost at 3 hours. This one's not really picked up much, has it? It's going to be a busy day. I got 2 hours of consultations to do anyways. So it'll be okay if we only barely break 3 hours here. To be fine. 3 hours fasted. All good. I still got client sheets to do. I had 2 hours of consultation calls. But speaking of all that, guys, I still have my Amazon wish list up. If you guys want to buy me some protein or creatine, I need to pull the fish oil off. It's already someone already bought that again. I haven't even run out. But, I'll eventually use it, I guess. Yeah, been a pretty good run of the cardio. We made good time with it. So we hit 3 hours before 10 o'clock. While still doing other work. I made multiple client blogs, message clients. I'll take that as a win. Haters talk about how you look, coach, but 99% of those BOSU balls don't look like they've ever touched a weight. You walk the walk exactly. Well, Jason, need to go see you on the next one. Take care of me. Yeah, I mean, they're going to hate on how I look. And really, the biggest hate really is just that I have loose skin for being fat. So what happens when my loose skin tightens up? Chad, because that's all they have. What they mean by bad genetics, he's got loose skin. Okay. So what happens if I tighten that up? What happens if I get really lean? And then even more so, maybe I'll pin some growth in it when I get really lean. So then what do they have? And, but to the average person, I look freakish already. So I get compliments all the time. I get compliments out walking shirtless doing my other stuff. Unless they see me talking to the phone. People don't stop me if they see me talking to the phone, but if I stop for a minute in between changing streams, so some people will catch me. Feel like a novice stalling at a 160 squash today. Oh, Vivacious. You just outed yourself. I thought loose skin was a lifestyle. It is a lifestyle, Alan, but they can't differentiate that. They're stupid. Still look better than every last one of those personal trainers you clients expect, right? Like I had a guy, I mean, I've been told you look like a Greek statue. I've been told, you look amazing. I had one of the guys who's actually stopped me in other streams and just chatted for a minute next to me. Stopped me one day and said, asked me if I have his words, do you have a single ounce of fat on your body? Which I thought was funny because average person, that's how they perceive it versus the internet fitness community. I get stopped shopping all the time, grocery shopping too, shorts and a t-shirt. People ask compliments, ask me how much I've managed, ask me for lifting advice, ask me for diet advice, look at my grocery cart. Had a fan take a picture yesterday or the day before. He put it up on social media and tagged me. Guy bumped into me at the grocery store. I chatted with him for about 10 minutes. He grabbed a picture and put it up. It happens. Well, you get compliments. I mean, I don't look like the average person, guys. I am walking around at 213, 500 pound squat. So I don't look like the average person. But again, internet fitness versus how the real world perceives stuff is dramatically different. That's what for the thick COVID, I didn't, man. I know what you mean. I was strong, but weighing 240, I don't care that I was squatting 600. There's a point where you just go, no, dude, it just wasn't healthy. Like I was getting sleep apnea and stuff. Chad, that's not good. Not in your 40s. Now let's shred on down, man. Shred on down. shred, baby, shred. Yeah, I'm not doing it. No, dude. Why? Why would I subject myself to that, Chad? For what? Like, why am I just going to just die young and be forced to wear a CPAP? And no, get fit. It's not like I'm not going to be super strong for my age and weight, even shredded. Right? So who cares? Goals have to change, man. But guys, we hit 3 hours. I'm going to go ahead and wind this down. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you next time.